Wow, I'm sorry guys, but wow, this I'm really getting into this team up stuff. I'm just giving you guys a few that I'm off the top of my head that I really enjoyed. But like I said, X-Men, Wildcats, great stuff. I mean, there are so many great crossovers between Spawn and Batman. You know, nobody can forget that crossover. I mean, there's so many. Just so many great crossover. I mean, but I think one hero in mind that I truly enjoy the crossovers that he does, that they write or have him crossover, would have to be by far my favorite of all time, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. The crossovers and team-ups that this man has are just unbelievably great. Because in my eyes, guys, heroes to me, sometimes it's good to see heroes come together, crossover, or team up to fight a common enemy. Because sometimes even Superman needs help sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even Thor needs help. You know, as much as we might say, oh, they can take on anybody they want, but even sometimes these powerhouses like that need help. Hence, he teams up with the Avengers, the Justice League, you know, things like that. But Spider-Man is never one to shy away from help. And team-ups with him and Daredevil have always been great. And because these two really represent, in my eyes, the two great street-level heroes of the Marvel Universe, because these are heroes that are always on the streets, you know what I'm saying, like Luke Cage and stuff like that. They're always on the streets battling, you know, common criminals, not just their big main enemies. They're trying to make a difference, you know what I'm saying, like Bruce, like that. They're not always fighting those world-dominating villains, you know, stuff like that, you know. But as you can see, you know, Pete, Spidey, he teams up with some of the great, even in the Marvel Universe as well outside of the Marvel Universe. And hence, by far, my greatest outside team-up would have to be between Pete and Bruce. The two crossovers that they had, comics they had, Spider-Man and Bruce, Pete and Bruce, whatever guys, were just great. I really enjoyed the first issue we saw between Spidey and Bruce. Was great. We saw a combination of why these two heroes got into the superhero business. Bruce, the death of his parents, you know, inspired him to get it, and the death of Uncle Ben inspired Pete to get into to use his powers. And in the first story, we seeing these two heroes having similar nightmares between each other. The death of Uncle Ben, and in the death of Uncle Ben, we see that the burglar looks a lot like the Joker, and in Batman's nightmare, we see that the shooter of the Waynes looks a lot like Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, and that's the two enemies they're facing in this first one. And we get to see Bruce. They both are. Dr. Kafka takes Cletus Cassidy, who was an occupant of Ravencroft. Ravencroft was like the Arkham of the Marvel Universe, and a doctor in Arkham says that he can implant a microchip in the brains of the criminally insane to make them calm and docile. And their first subject was one of the greatest residents of the Arkham, the Joker. And in this, we see the Joker looking very docile, kind of out of it, not really his insane lunatic self. But in the eyes of Bruce and Pete, we see that they're not really buying this too much. And unfortunately, it didn't last because Carnage breaks free of his restraints, finds Joker, removes the chip out of his, you should have seen it. The panel was great, beautifully drawn by the great Mark Bagley, another one of my favorite artists. He draws the symbiote, he uses the symbiote going up through Joker's nose to his brain, crushing the microchip, and Joker becomes his criminally insane self. Bruce, battles Joker. Unfortunately, Bruce, at times, Bruce sometimes can be, a lame ass sometimes because he doesn't need help sometimes. Like, Gotham is my city. He even said it. Gotham is not New York, Spider-Man. Go back home. I can handle it. And sometimes that's where sometimes I'm like, but Bruce, Spidey knows Carnage. Let him help you. But in the end, we see that they come together, battle Joker and Carnage. Heroes come out on top. And in the end, it's a beautiful scene of Bruce and Spidey. Bruce is on a water tower and Spidey's swinging away, and the panel reads basically, a friendship has been born, something like that. They may not meet again, but this friendship will last forever, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I don't mean that, but, and just beautiful drawing by the great Mark Bagley, who now draws for DC now, who's doing Trinity now. But the next one was between Batman and Spidey team up again, so that whole they may not meet again rumor was cut down, and they joined the face Ra's al Ghul and Kingpin. And Kingpin, Ra's al Ghul sees Kingpin as a way of making his dreams come true, as well as Kingpin seeing that Ra's al Ghul can help Kingpin help his ailing wife Vanessa, who is dying, I believe, of cancer, by using the Lazarus pit. But we see a lot of betrayal in this. So just some great team ups that Spidey's had over the years. But in my eyes, why we don't see great team ups and crossovers from the various universe now, I don't know. Maybe, we see, in my eyes, I see it as enemy, stay out of our territory. We don't want, you guys, but that's my eye. Because in the 90s we saw a lot of great crossovers, even outside of the great big two universes. But like I said, guys, to end it, team-ups are great in my eyes. Crossovers are great. Heroes sometimes gotta put their pride aside, and we see that. But they gotta put their pride aside that I can handle it myself. And Spidey is a prime example of not how can I put it? Not rejecting help. That's how I can put it, like that. He's not rejecting help. But you got some heroes that do, But it's always good to see heroes team up. Look at the Avengers, for example. The Avengers came together to fight a common enemy that no one hero could face alone. Loki. Thor couldn't beat him couldn't handle him alone. And sometimes you like saying, wow, Thor's a god, so why couldn't he beat another god? But you see that these heroes come together, already established heroes come together to fight a common goal, common enemy. And sometimes, it's always great to see that. And team-ups to me are always great. I wish we do see more team-ups from the big two, even to some of the more independent groups teaming up with some of the big team-ups now. But I don't know, maybe there's politics involved in it, and me, I don't really get into politics like that. I do put my 2 cents into it. You know, sometimes people want to be more creative wise. Oh no, well, if we're going to do a crossover, then we're going to have my product be more involved in it. So we're going to put more panels of them instead of your panel. But sometimes you guys, you know, you got to put your pride aside and just make a great story. So other than that, guys, you know, thanks again for listening to me just go on a rant. So once again, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying, keep it real. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that Spawn tribute, guys. And peace.